Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're all safe and well, and welcome to Belfast in Northern Ireland. My presentation today is to give you information regarding the criteria we used for the selection of a CTP system and its implementation. But first, let's watch a short video giving an insight into the operation here at Interpress.
Hello and welcome to Interpress NI Limited, a strategically built contract print facility in the heart of Belfast, Northern Ireland. My name is David Wilson and I'm production manager on site. Come on in, we'll take a look around. As a company, we take our environmental responsibilities very seriously. The print site is less than 2 kilometres from the port of Belfast, where all our newsprint requirements from Canada, Norway and Sweden are stored and ready for immediate call-off. Our main newspaper distributor is on the site next to us with immediate distribution, and we are adjacent to the M2 motorway with direct access to Dublin, an hour and a half south, and Donegal, an hour and a half north. All our used consumables go back for recycling, making our carbon footprint one of the best in Europe, if not the world. We operate 2 IFRA Advantage NDL plate setters with Nelavision punch benders, a 96-page full-colour man-rolling uniset single-width press line, and a mailroom consisting of Muller Martini new stacks, an SLS 3000 inserter, flexi-roll buffering, rotary trimming and Mosca packing lines. The operation went into production in March 2005 with only one title, our core title, The Irish News. Today we print a total of 44 titles per week, which include 32 weeklies, 5 dailies and 7 Sunday print titles, totaling 750,000 copies per week across 77 print runs. Every title printed at Interpress has come via word of mouth, based on our print quality, customer service and efficiencies we have achieved through the operation. We have been recognised by the industry and our peers, having been voted Regional Newspaper Printer of the Year or National Newspaper Printer of the Year on 13 occasions in the past 15 years, which is even more remarkable given that the press is operated on a manual basis with no additional automation. Thanks for watching. I hope that gives you a better insight into operations here at Interpress.
So the operation at Interpress went into production in March of 2005. The CTP equipment had already been purchased prior to my arrival. This consisted of 2 Autologic Advantage CTP lines, 2 Glunson Jensen processors, and a Nella punch bender. As I had previously implemented a CTP system 7 years earlier at another print site, I was more than happy with the choice of equipment purchased as part of this ambitious venture for a family-run business printing their own core title, The Irish News. Our major focus from the outset was on print quality, to put the best possible newspaper onto the newsstands, and it became evident that our focus on print quality was being widely noticed within the industry. Independent publishers and weekly newspaper groups began to make inquiries into the availability of print slots at Interpress. So contracts were negotiated and a production schedule was put in place with agreed print and start finish times, but it soon became clear to us that the CTP equipment would need upgraded to meet with these requirements. Consultations with IFRA at this stage suggested a speed upgrade would be a solution. So upon completion of this upgrade, Interpress began its journey as a contract print site in earnest. The speed upgrade did offer a immediate solution for the original installation. However, once we had embedded the new titles into the production schedule, the concern we had was the impact a line failure would have on production, and particularly with publishers asking for increasingly late print slots to allow for late sport and breaking news. As a production manager, not getting newspapers distributed on time is totally unacceptable. Therefore, it was imperative that a long-term solution for Interpress was deemed necessary. And with the increasing interest and demands for the print slots, the decision was taken in 2010 to invest in a third line with a new Vision Punch bender in order to increase the throughput, whilst simultaneously providing us with backup security to the production team should the need arise. If you see from this slide, slide 2, if Charmaine can pull that up for us, please. You can see from this slide the footprint of the original AutoLogic lines, line 1 and 2, alongside the new line 3 to the left of it with the Vision Punch bender. So production increased significantly for us when a major weekly newspaper group publishing 7 titles and a UK national newspaper publisher printing 5 of their own titles signed significant contracts. And at the beginning of 2018, the decision was taken to replace the original 2 AutoLogic Advantage lines. They had been in production from 2005, and due to end of life, parts becoming obsolete, it was necessary at this time to purchase new equipment. So we spent approximately 6 months researching the marketplace. It was crucial for our company to purchase the precise equipment that would meet the needs and requirements for the production schedule. So two separate companies were approached to present a complete solution, from the customer's PDF right through to the presets for the press. This in itself posed a few problems, not only for the supplier, but also for ourselves. The Ctp Room is on the first floor of our building, parallel to the press. And when the original machines were placed in situ during the building phase, they were lifted into that room via the mailroom on the ground floor, using a crane before a permanent wall was built. And with an extensive mailroom being fitted and now taking up basically all the ground floor, the same path could not be used for the new equipment. Plus, we had the added responsibility of replacing the old machines whilst at the same time keeping to their production schedule. And if you look at slide 3, you can see from this slide a typical week's production at Interpress, where Monday through Wednesday, being particularly busy with titles, both weekly and newspaper production. Thursday handling the likes of preprints and bigger weekend paginations and Sunday print titles. Heading then into the weekend where the big paginations and inserting becomes a major part of our production. IFRA Graphics were able to offer solutions to the problems in relation to the building. The footprint for the new Advantage NDLs allowed us to get the machines into the lift once we had removed the lift doors, with basically 5 millimeters to spare either side. And if you can see from slide 4, or sorry, this is actually the final footprint. Can we go to the next slide possibly, Charmaine? You can see from slide 4 here, where basically we had the machines coming up in the lift and the actual amount of space we had in relation to the install. And finally, if we go back to the next slide, Charmaine, or the previous slide, sorry, this is showing both the new machines in situ along with the 2 new punch benders, which are offering us up to basically 250 plates per line for outputting. As we have always had a very robust front-end system in place with a dedicated IT system manager overseeing the workflow, IFRA maintenance engineers on the end of Ireland servicing the equipment, having this sort of knowledge and support on our doorstep, should we ever run into a problem, is absolutely priceless. So in summary, speed, reliability, a belt and braces, all-inclusive front-end system. And when you take into consideration that in 2005, our weekly plate output production was around 960 plates. In comparison today, where we're outputting 10,000 plates per week, it's formed the reasoning behind our decision to continue this journey with AGFA Graphics. As you can see from the final slide, the pre-press workflow at Interpress, from the inbound customer's PDF through the FTP server, the Assura pre-flight engines, the image correction via Amendo, ink optimization through the AGFA OptiInk, through the RIPS to publication planner and page bearer, back through the RIPS to the softproof, then to plate approval through the news drives, into the new AGFA NDL Ctp lines, and finally punched and bent, ready for the press. So you can see basically the entire workflow from start to finish. And as we continue to develop as a company, the additional add-ons that AGFA Graphics as a partner offer to us, such as AGFA Reduction, the cloud, PrintSphere for disaster recovery situations, with consolidation in the island of Ireland and less print sites of this nature in operation. It's imperative for us to have the support, but also offer support to our colleagues within the industry. So thank you for your attention. I hope this short presentation has given you an insight into the decision-making we as a company have made during this amazing journey, and long may it continue. Best regards to everyone. Stay safe. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, David, for a great speech and presentation. I would like to present now Vijay and Amol. They both come from Times of India. They are located in different locations, it looks. Who will start? So I can just ask you.
I will start.
You will start, okay?
Vijay.
Okay, you will start. Vijay will start his presentation, then Amol will take over. And in the end, we will take some questions. So please post the questions in the column on the right side in the events there. You see Q&A session. Please post your questions there, so we can take the questions at the end of the session. Vijay, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Pingy. Good evening to all from Times of India. At the very outset, I'd like to thank WAN-IFRA for giving us this opportunity to participate and present this session. Greetings to all my fellow panelists, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all to the session on AI in prepress workflows to optimize the workflows and build intelligence in them. I, along with Amol, today would like to touch upon the topic of workflow and intelligence in prepress at our organization. Today, we cannot think of workflows without automation and intelligence, as we would be spending most of our time resolving simple issues and routine issues, spending a lot of time in troubleshooting. We at Times of India have leveraged automation and intelligence to build and implement robust, consistent workflows. Some of the workflows that we are going to discuss in this session are as seen in the slide now. Let us have a look at them one by one. I would like to invite Amol to take us through a few of them.
Thank you, Vijay, and good evening to everyone. So here, what we see as a first slide is actually speaking of content on the go. So giving an introduction of content on the go, at BCCL, we as a prepress are the technology partners for production and editorial teams. Prepress here has a bigger horizon umbrella, which takes an incorporation of print quality, innovations, and technology advancement across the print products. Let's start here with understanding the technology steps taken in BCCL, which has been consisting of high degree of automation and intelligence to simplify the work. I will start with the technology tool here, introducing what we say as content on the go. This indicates the flexibility of creating the content while the creator is on the move. As we all know, filing of story and content from the field is a difficult task. Also, typing for Indian languages from the handheld devices is not easy. To accomplish this, many times, reporters and photographers have to come in office. So we introduced these tools which can be accessed from anywhere and with any device, which cut down the time spent in commuting. These intelligent tools helps in conversion of speech to text with different languages used. These applications have the capability of machine learning, which understands the Indian language and build up their repositories as per the style and the content of the text used in publications. So the platform provides the real-time integration of content with editorial workflow of newsroom, of different newsroom, which can be accessed throughout the locations. It also has the functionality of the editor to preview and approve the content which is suitable for the editions. All this gives an enhanced feature, additional to which we have a page preview feature wherein a content creator knows the content stage and how it has been used in a publication. Moving ahead now regarding the photographs and images. As we say content on the go, many times it has been observed that images which we have been archived, they have their metadata missing. So even though we have a huge repository of images, they were not showing up during the search, since the most important information was missing from them. So we came up with AI-based auto tagging tool for photojournalists also. And this tool helps photographers to access the automation remotely, using which they can upload the images from any location. This tool also come up with AI-based tagging system, wherein the metadata for the photographs and images are embedded with the photographs uploaded. So all these tools are AI-based, using the technology behind them as a powerful backbone which helps get more easy. All these tools also come up with analytics and measurement contributions, which creates different metrics. So this is how, with the technology in Prepress, we are going ahead with content on the go, which becomes a truly insightful tool for everyone in this scenario. Moving ahead, as a part of content creation, we have also focused on content enrichment. We have implemented customized style check and name check dictionary systems. This system checks for the language and the personality name or the name of places available within the story and prompts for alert. With the capacity of grammar and phrase check within it, this tool integrates the machine learning to build up dictionaries with commonly used words and sentences. We have also integrated the plagiarism tool within the application used in daily production to understand the originality of the content. This tool uses the powerful search engine over the web to fetch the results. Additional to which, there is also a contextual technology, search technology, that focuses on context of the story journalist is writing and automatically fetches the most relevant set of stories to them. Now let's see about the contributors and freelancers. These contributors and freelancers also have a significant role in content creation. Earlier, these contributors and freelancers used to send content over personal email IDs to the responsible entity or the responsible persons. And there were chances of delay in delivery or missing the contribution due to many reasons. So we thought of properly channelizing this medium by introducing the contributors module. This technology deals with the freelancer contribution and their payments. This module traces the contribution made by the freelancer till the content is published on various platforms. Module is also automated to trigger various approvals depending on stages of content being delivered. There are 3 levels of approvals with automated digital payment to the contributors. This module is currently placed with our regional publications and with regional freelancers. The module is equipped with feature of audit compliance measurement and MIS report for the freelancers content contribution. Now, since we have seen the part of contribution, let's move on to the automation part where we see the process automation implemented at the page making level and the product designing level. Here we have introduced the functionality of auto typeset. This functionality automates the process of typesetting the common pages across different zones and different products. This functionality has been customized wherein we can schedule the trigger as per the print requirements. In the latest scenario of COVID crisis, business decided to merge 15 BCCL editions into 6 editions and shift the workload as many colleagues started working from home. This would have been a business loss because of the ad revenue in those markets were going to be affected. But using this solution, impossible was made possible. Here, with this automation, edit team creates only 6 master editions. These 6 master editions have 15 different scheduling teams creating 15 dummies. So once the edit team creates 6 master edition, advertisement scheduling continues with 15 dummies, protecting the local ad businesses. Auto typeset functionality automatically copies these 6 master editions to these 15 respective editions. This process is totally automated. There is no human interface and also saves time. The solution here provides the desired flexibility to the business without any additional cost. Moving ahead, we aim to bring in more robotic process automations, where we have planned to bring in page plan automation. This process will simplify the process of sharing content across media platforms and also will benefit the print user. The concept here is to automatically name the pages in application across the different product and zones, which will enable the process of creating the content relationship and linking the content as per the specific desk and page. Based on this, input channels can be configured to auto assign the content with respect to edition, page, and article being designed. Further, these contents will undergo the automated schedule process and will trigger the output as per requirement. Also keeping in an objective to automate the delivery for digital edition, archival, and e-paper, including radio and TV exports. Moving ahead, we have a design content management tool. We call it as ICMS. Since BCCL has been in printing since 1838 and had been a repository of these heritage data assets in various systems stored before in multiple formats. So from the past 3 years, we started the process of migrating this data into ICMS with an objective to enable today's user to refer and repurpose this content. While building up this content in today's digital format, we implemented the intelligence, which has a power of detection and tagging with proper segmentation of this content while processing and making the data available in searchable format. This tool embeds the metadata in the image using the technology like face recognition, face expression recognition, object detection, and also the text OCR. these images can now be searched based on metadata added intelligently by the tool. Today, this tool uses the automated input from various application exports generated and which generates the archives. This platform enables the auto archival of pages, PDF, from different publications across the BCCL. The platform also supports the multimedia integration with digital asset management, which includes the sharing of content across the different media partners. Tool is equipped with enhanced search that looks for both archived and other newsfeed inputs in the database. Additional to which there is an intelligence to Indian language keyword search, for which the content has been auto-tagged with machine learning. ICMS provides a strong content management across the various functions in BCCL, including the print and online. So this has been a major tool which plays a major role with BCCL content contribution. So that's all from my side. Now I will ask Vijay to take over this presentation and move you all forward with the page output workflow and other prepress automations. Thank you for this opportunity. Yeah, over to you, Vijay.
Yeah, hey, thanks Amol for that. Now, arguably the most important workflow in prepress, the page output workflow. The legacy workflow that we had was distributed in nature, and it worked very well for almost a decade. With increased focus on making processes lean, automated, and cost reduction being the theme of the day, we have now implemented this new workflow, as you can see on the screen. This new workflow is a hybrid model which leverages the advantages of centralized application architecture and distributed processing. Partly it is because the way advertisement system is currently being designed and implemented. We have moved from proprietary platforms to open platforms based on Linux operating system. Now, as you can see on the screen, if I may say, the application has adopted a three-tiered approach. The left-hand side is what you have the database and the application server residing in the data center. And in the middle, we have an application component which is situated at each of the editorial locations or places. And then to the far right, you see the press, which are distributed across various geographies. In addition to the file which is processed from the editorial application, which is processed through the various prepress workflows and delivered to the press, a copy of the file is also sent to the soft proofing station at the press, which helps in monitoring the print quality during the print run at night. Similarly, an additional copy of the page, a JPEG format of the published page, is also forwarded to an e-invoice advertisement billing system, which we will see in the next few slides. So having seen this workflow, let us go through what advantages did we get by implementing this workflow. Now, as you can see, the main advantages on the left side are the centralized workflow architecture and integration with Active Directory, which helped us to auto-assign roles and access rights to products on user login. The second key advantage was auto-routing of page respective to edit location for processing and routing it to the designated press based on product configuration. Resending the pages in a different machine profile due to change in press at the last minute due to some breakdown. Now this reconfiguration is just a few clicks away. The application is capable of changing the configuration in just a few clicks. Due to various innovations and need to maximize revenue, we often combine different paper types in the same product like standard print, glazed print, pink profile, white profile. This application, based on the intelligence, knows exactly which profile a page is to be processed. So it gives you to the flexibility to integrate different page types in a single product. Even with, we can even go further, customizing the processing of a subset of pages in a specific profile. For example, ET being a business daily of our organization printed in pink, it requires the market desk pages to be printed in white. Now, this application provides you that flexibility to mix and match the various profiles as required by the product. Now, the key factor here is advantage here is dynamic load balancing of multiple instances of CMS, distiller, RIP. As and when your operations scale up or the load increases, the application is there ready to scale up the processing power on demand. Now, everything looks good as long as these automated processes keep working. And the minute something goes wrong, there is mayhem. But in this application, there is an active DR configuration where in case of a failure of an entire active site or a component in the active site, the application routes processing to the alternate site or an alternate component as predefined in the application. So your production is not affected at any point. Reports and real-time dashboards are available in the application. As you can see on the screen, for example, automated end-of-day reports, real-time edition status for the editorial and the press, and component health monitors, where you can monitor the health of the various components in the application, and a very rich user interface which is very informative to the editorial users. As we move to the next slide, this is the, like I said in a couple of slides ago, that a JPEG image of the published page is forwarded to your advertisement billing system. Here, the JPEG image along with the page XML with the ads is also exported and fed into the advertisement billing system, which then compares the booking parameters versus the published parameters and automatically creates an e-invoice and it mails to the advertiser along with the copy of the published page. This process was entirely manual and used to take anywhere from a few days to a weeks for all the physical copies to come at the nearest hub and then raise an invoice. This now is almost ready at the end of the day to raise the invoice, and this has helped us greatly. In the near future, what we are going to or evaluating or exploring in terms of exploring the usage of AI is, the first case is use case is in case of revised page or late city editions. Using AI, we want to identify the change in a particular plate and be able to output only that plate to the press. The second being that many of our print partners cannot print edition in all color because of the infrastructure constraints at their press. We would like to automate the page processing for these partners at source as per their print configuration. The third being using AI, we are exploring the possibility of automatically creating synopsis of stories without losing the context or theme of the story. And further, we want to integrate the page output workflow with the press as part of the connected systems project. Here, what we define is that a printer can tell the system, the page output system, about his printing plan for the day. For example, which product is to be printed on which machine or press, and the page output workflow adopts the requisite changes for processing the pages seamlessly. So it's a kind of backward integration to take place right from the press till the editorial workflow. All these automated and smart workflows have helped us in these challenging times, and we continue to explore newer technologies to help end users and business. As they say, the search is on. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.
Thank you, Amol and Vijay. Very, very interesting what you're doing, and I would like to ask you some questions, and then we will, David, if you wanna turn on your video window again, then we can also ask you some questions. I would just like to start with you, David, because you were the first one.
Okay.
How many employees do you employ at the CTP site? I mean, at each station, is it one per shift, or is it?
Yeah, basically we have one person obviously running the Ctp room, and he would be obviously soft proofing, you know, releasing pages through the news drives to the Ctp lines. We basically have what we would sort of call a runner, who would be a printer, who basically would come in and out through the Ctp room, you know, help with sortation of each job, get it into position, then basically take it to the press, set the plates out around the press, because if you see by the production schedule, I mean, there's roughly around 77 titles per week going through that plant. So it's basically like job on, job off. So the next job has to be ready while the other job's being printed, if you know what I mean. So while the guys are printing one job, the next one's basically then out around the press, so it's ready to go. And, you know, in relation to make ready times, you would be probably looking at around, you know, a 20-minute sort of turnaround on a press for us. I mean, we're operating a single width man rolled and uniset press. So, you know, basically, you know, paginations from anything from, well, 64 pages up to 96, where you have maybe a printer looking after 2 towers. Then, you know, as soon as that press comes down, you're there basically in there straight away, you know, deplating and then replating the next job to get a fast turnaround to enable us to print sort of 13, 14 different titles every day. So that's basically with a CTP, we'll run basically 2 shifts. You know, the way the rota would work on the first shift, they would work basically Monday, Tuesday, then off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, then back again in Saturday, Sunday. And then the following week, they'd be off Monday, Tuesday, in Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, off Saturday, Sunday. So basically one CTP operator on each shift.
Okay, thank you for that. How much ink saving do we have with the Opti ink? I mean, that's a question that came in.
Yeah. Well, it's not difficult to quantify. I mean, you know, we would have sent basically files to IFRA to output in the normal way, and then get them to output them again through the Opti ink, and they would come back to us with sort of figures of anything between maybe 20-30%. But as a production manager and a printer, obviously depending on our print crew, you know, using the densitometers, making sure, you know, the densities are right and stuff, I would say probably around conservative, at least 15%, possibly 20%. I mean, you could look at, I mean, we don't have measuring equipment actually on the press. If we go down to the ink tanks and look at basically the usage over a week and divide it up over the amount of, obviously, 750,000 copies every week, you could probably maybe get a better steer on it all. But I would say conservatively, yes, between 15-20% of ink savings.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, David. I will turn to Amol and then Vijay now. Maybe just a quick question to begin with. Were you motivated by this because of your many locations, because of Times of India's many locations, is the motivation to automate in that respect? Am I correct to assume that's the reason you started this process?
Yeah, it's partly right because of the geographical distance between the multiple locations, and we not only have in-house presses, we also have outside print partners, and they are even more widely spread across the geography of India. And to be able to route a particular product to a desired destination, all automated, so that really drives the complexity. And as things get more complex, it's difficult to do things manually. And that's where the desire to automate the processes and reduce the turnaround time for processing.
Right. Do you want to add to that, Amol?
Yeah, I would like to say, just back up with Vijay what he said. The automation actually helps in today's life. So we look forward for the more automations, which we can come in with the intelligent tools. And looking at today's crisis scenario, these automations have helped us in more ways than we can think about. So that was our motivation for going ahead with these all automations.
That's interesting. It's actually a question here as well. I mean, can this workflow be applied to magazines as well?
Yeah, I think it can be applied because we are already using a part of this automated workflow for magazines. Though we are not printing magazines in-house, we are printing it outside. So they do not follow this automated workflow as of now. But eventually, if we take this job inside, then they can very well follow the automated workflows that we have designed for daily newspapers.
And this is all designed and programmed and everything in-house. It's designed and developed by Bennett Coleman then, or
yeah, it is
so this is
designed and developed by mainly because we know the business better than anybody else, which suits us.
You have newspapers all over the world that are printing many sites, so this would obviously be a solution that would probably could attract some attention. Have you had any interest from them?
Yeah, it's a very small world, and there are similar problems faced by all the people in the peers in the industry, and it is wise always to learn from anybody who has done it before. So there's no point in reinventing the wheel. And our leadership and our management is very much in collaboration with all the leading newspapers to bring what suits us in our demography and in our country. So because no one solution fits all, we need to modify it and customize it for our requirement.
Good, thank you. What about, I mean, when you compare this workflow, the AI workflow, to your old workflow or to the existing workflow in so many places, have you been able to measure it somehow to see the throughput or to see the?
Yes, because ultimately I would say this is my best workflow. It has given so many advantages, but as long as you cannot measure it, that's no point in talking about it. So we have measured a before and after processing time of a particular page from start to end. And this workflow has delivered 20% reduction in processing time as of now. And we are sure to reduce it by another 10 to 15% by optimizing even this workflow further.
Okay. Here's a question that came in. How many software R&D people work at the TOI to create all that software? Can you elaborate on that?
Well, there are several teams who help in several functions. And I would say a team of around 20 would be a wise guess.
Okay, sounds good. But what is the future of next generation printing technologies? I mean, how can we implement more AI into our industry, for instance? I mean, now you have been working with the workflow. How do you see more AI being implemented into our work?
I think Industry 4.0 is one way which will drive a lot of intelligence, because till now, intelligence could not be built into the various workflow because we simply did not capture the data. Now today, with all processing getting digitized, we have huge amounts of data. And with that data, there are AI is the only tool. AI, machine learning are the only tools which can read into that data, make predictive analysis, and help you know what is coming in the future and how to mitigate them.
Right.
So I think AI and ML will play a huge role going forward in every sphere of newspaper industry, not only in pre-press, in press, and maybe even in the mailroom and distribution.
Okay.
Now that we are having lots of data, we can build intelligence into the data for the benefit of business.
Thank you. Thank you. What about you, Amol? Do you want to add to that?
Yeah, everything already said, but yes, the data today in this world is the most important key to find the way. That's the key what I will say. And we are looking forward for bringing in more automations as we are in process of gathering this data and thinking of the way around.
So measuring and gathering data is the most important thing. What do you say, David? I mean, when you hear this AI talk from Bennett Coleman, what do you say? I mean, how do you see it implemented in your newspaper?
I didn't get the whole presentation, so I can't really comment on it until I get another look at it.
Okay.
I had an about, unfortunately, so I didn't get seeing the whole presentation. I'll have to go back to it.
No problem. No problem. I just want to thank all of you for great presentations. I mean, they were quite different, but in many respects, very interesting, both of them. And I mean, we're learning a lot from this day, and from this first day, I've heard so many new things and so many interesting things. And I thank all the attendees as well for participating today. We will start tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock Central European time. Always, all our times are Central European time. Be careful of that. And feel free to stay a bit in the meeting hub in our events here to meet meet each other and meet virtually. So I just say today, thank you, speakers, for a great presentation.
Thank you.
And thank you, attendees as well, for being
Good
here.
luck, guys.
Take care.
Nice.
Have a good
Take
day.
care.
Safe.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Stay safe. Stay safe.
Bye-bye.